chaos masquerading as charm. That's the phrase, isn't it? It sounds poetic, alluring even, until you realize it's your love life we're talking about. Welcome. Today, we explore 10 signs you may have a fearful-avoidant attachment style. And if that term makes you fidget slightly in your seat, or recall 3 ex-lovers with that haunted look in their eyes, you may be in the right place. Or rather, the right maze. Let me tell you a little story. There was once a boy who loved kites. Every weekend he'd run into the field behind his cottage and let one fly. But the moment it tugged too hard, the string in his hand clenched. He'd let go, afraid it might carry him off the ground into the sky, never to return. That boy grew up, and instead of kites, he let go of people. Fearful-avoidant attachment is a paradox. Come close, but not too close. Love me, but if you really knew me, you wouldn't. So let's begin with sign number 1. You crave intimacy, yet recoil when it's offered. You long to be known, seen, understood, but the moment someone peers too deep, you vanish. You're a magician of closeness, appearing emotionally rich, connected, and then disappearing mid-act. Relationships for you are like camping under the stars. Lovely, but never permanent. The tent is easy to pack up. After all, how could you stay when staying feels like surrendering your sovereignty? Now, sign number 2. You're stuck in a never-ending custody battle with yourself. Anxious one day, avoidant the next. You're like Hamlet, but for relationships. To attach or not to attach. That is your daily existential crisis. The anxious part of you writes sonnets. The avoidant part edits them out. And the audience, your poor partners, never gets to read either version. You're both lover and lone wolf, and neither wins for long. Sign number 3. You have a PhD in over-responsibility and another in abdicating it. One day, you're the emotional butler, polishing your partner's every insecurity with care. The next, you're in the study, locked in, curtains drawn, declaring, "I am not responsible for anyone's happiness but my own." You're not sure if you're being abused or doing the abusing. You're not sure if you're the hero or the villain. Truth is, you're both. We all are, at some point. Sign number 4. You can read a room like Sherlock Holmes, but you can't read yourself. You see betrayal before it happens. You sense a lie before it's formed. But when asked how you feel, you stare into space like a man who's misplaced his keys. Only the keys are your emotions, and the space is, well, your entire interior world. You know others better than you know yourself, and that's not intimacy, it's surveillance. Sign number 5. You want to be pursued but fear being found. You sit back, you wait, you smile and drop hints like rose petals. You hope someone picks them up, follows the trail. But when they arrive, candle in hand, ready to explore, you hide. Because if they really see you, your longing, your shadow, your history, they'll run. Or so you believe. So you beat them to it. Sign number 6. You're deeply afraid of corrupting goodness. You meet someone healthy, kind, consistent, and you panic. They deserve better, you whisper to your reflection. The truth is, you don't fear they'll hurt you. You fear you'll hurt them, that somehow your unresolved edges will slice into their softness. You feel like a beautiful antique with a cracked base, afraid if someone loves you, they'll eventually fall through. Sign number 7. You're always checking for the exit signs, even on your wedding day. You could be sipping champagne, leaning in during vows, and part of your brain is still mapping how to get out. Not because you want to leave, because safety is measured by freedom, and commitment feels like confinement. You love deeply, but you love from the edge of the room. Sign number 8. You don't trust your decisions because your feelings change with the weather. Today you want marriage. Tomorrow you want a cabin in the Alps. Alone, just you and the wind. You've made promises in the morning and broken them by dusk. Not because you're dishonest, because the self who promised them vanished when a new emotional weather front moved in. And so you've come to distrust the entire sky. Sign number 9. You live for emotional highs and fear emotional presence. You chase passion, drama, the rush. But when someone looks at you gently, says, "Tell me how you really feel," you freeze. Pain is easier than vulnerability. Excitement is easier than safety. You crave the intensity of a violin solo, not the quiet hum of daily companionship. And yet, you ache for that hum. And finally, sign number 10. You love hard, but make no room. You fall for someone, and then try to fit them into your pre-existing life as if they're a carry-on bag. No, don't change the itinerary. Just squeeze in next to the gym schedule, my emotional self-care routine, and the part of me that doesn't want to need anyone. But love, true love, requires space, not just in your calendar, but in your being. Now, if you've seen yourself in these signs, I urge you, do not despair. You are not broken. You are not a storm, destined to destroy everything you touch. You are a paradox, yes. But paradoxes are where poetry lives. The fearful avoidant is not a failed version of a securely attached person. You are someone who learned, often far too early, that love is dangerous and leaving is survival. You crafted a self that could both connect and run, a shapeshifter of emotional navigation, and that self deserves gentleness. So what do you do now? You begin slowly. You learn that being seen is not the same as being swallowed. You discover that vulnerability isn't a trapdoor, it's a bridge. You teach the anxious voice within you to breathe, and the avoidant part to stay, just a moment longer. And perhaps, just perhaps, one day you'll meet someone, not perfect, but patient, who knows how to dance between closeness and space, someone who holds the string of the kite and doesn't let go. Now that, dear friend, is the beginning of healing. 10 signs you may have a fearful-avoidant attachment style. If you saw your reflection in these words, don't run from it. Sit with it. Because awareness, however painful, is always the first thread of transformation. Until next time, take care of your heart. It's the bravest thing you carry.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.